So I'm Mattias Ganslandt. I'm the CEO of Multigrid, a Stockholm-based tech startup. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Delaktig Ii, which is a project that based on our experience from Delaktig I, which is a project that we are doing within SamspEL since about 1.5 years ago, has resulted in a new project. Supposedly that's one of the purposes of these research projects. So let me tell you about Delaktig II. Essentially we come to the conclusion that one of the practical reasons why we don't see enough elasticity in terms of supply and demand in the power market is due to essentially three things, at least that's our opinion and our assessment. One is the lack of prices. There is a lack of dynamic pricing that drives elasticity, both on the supply side and on the demand side. Typically, regulators and politicians talk about elasticity in terms of flexibility. In terms of how markets work, that's essentially the same thing as elasticity in both supply and demand. Secondly, we make the observation that there is a lack of interfaces for interaction in the market and exchange in the marketplace. Particularly in some sectors of the energy market, there is a lack of functioning interfaces that allows participants to interact. And thirdly, there is a lack of capabilities in the system that allows for sufficient automation, and that is due to the lack of ICT part of the energy system. So those are the three factors that we take as an observation. And I should say that we have started to work on this from the perspective that there is a huge opportunity in the sense that we as a commercial company can observe that real estate across the country and also in Europe and also individuals and companies, private parties have a great interest in being engaged and involved in the transition of the energy system. Not so much of the energy system as such, but mostly because they feel engaged in a transition that relates to climate change and other fundamental changes of society. So we are developing knowledge that ultimately would result in a basis for a micro market that is real estate or local, in the sense that we have a lot of exchange at the micro level. And this will ultimately result in micro pricing, an inclusive model with multiplayer business model, and also finally an ICT platform for optimization and administration of this kind of exchange. So that's essentially Delaktig II. And there is also a Delaktig III, which I can tell you about in a subsequent workshop, I guess. Thank you.